Hello, guys. Welcome to another edition today. So, we're going to be talking about how elite agents can become, or how agents can become top elite agents. So, looking at it, a lot of agents today are like almost just a moment. I have to, the light is a little bit more dull for my eyes, so I have to try to adjust this. No, let's put the light a little bit. This light is a little bit dull for my eyes. Let's see. I can do this. I can do this, and I'm going to. I need some light on my eyes so that I can. Yes, now it's much better. Okay. Okay, so as I said, everyone wants to become an elite agent, but most agents don't really know actually what it takes to become an elite agent. So I'm going to break it down to you guys today. And some of you guys have passed the exam, as you can see. I understand perfectly. So this is what you're going to do for newbies who have been coming, or for newbies in the industry. This is what you're going to do. Let's take, for example, the problem most agent faces. They focus only on passing the exam. Yes, of course, I know the main thing is to pass the exam, but after passing the exam, what next? If you pass the exam and you have many people with no, let's say you have many people and there many players and no contacts, so you're wasting your time. Yeah, that's what most people actually face. Let's take, for example, you have promised he there, I'm going to bring value to you, I'm going to sell you these players, but you have no contact, so it's almost like you're wasting your time then. So that's the first problem. Most people, when they pass the exam, they realize that, oh my god, this is harder than I thought. So the next problem also, I will tell you that most people face is they chase players but bring no value. So you can have a very good player on your hand, but if you don't have, let's say, the contact with the clubs, you're wasting your time. That's the second problem. Remember that. And the third is they never learn how to negotiate or position themselves. Small agents never learn how to negotiate. If you sit in front of the laptop as I'm explaining to you every day and let me say, don't travel to visit football clubs, you're never going to learn how to negotiate or position yourself. Sometimes you see me, or example, you see me sending pictures on Instagram or my LinkedIn that I am with sporting director having interviews with them. It's not just for interview sake. It's not for, yes, also when you interview someone, you have his card and you store his number on your phone. So thereby it's easy to access him because he has a picture in his brain about you, depending on what you both discussed. So that's already one thing. So, and the last one I would say that the problem is the elite or the small agents try to they think elite, but they don't think to become elite. I don't know if that makes sense for you guys. Let's take, for example, you are just an upcoming agent, but you are thinking of selling, let me say, working with Ronaldo. Is that possible? That's never going to be possible because he wants someone like to work with a Josh Mendes or some big, big personality. So here is your solution, guys. Let's look for a solution for you guys. So the first thing is dominate your positioning. So what's your positioning? Remember this. This is very clear message. Let's say you are living in, start from your quarter. Let's say you're living in India. I don't want to say any European country because I've been using Europe a lot as an advantage. So if you're an agent, then start scouting in that street. Start scouting in that city. How many players can you boast of? Because where you are, there must be someone of a talent there. So if you're where in Europe whatsoever, start scouting there. Start watching local games there. Yeah, because wherever you are, there's talent, but don't try to move forward. Don't try to jump past that. There's no player here. I need to go to other big cities. Start from there. Conquer that place, that area. Move to the next city. Use this as a stepping stone. Use it as an assignment, or enjoy the job while doing it. Like I'll give an example. The first two players that that I scouted that came to my industry were from my city. I said, yeah. were from my city, because I was trying to, not trying to, I was learning also on the job, like doing this, talking to the players, watching them close hand. I go to watch their games. And actually, in that your very city that you're scouting players, a team from another city is going to leave and come and play against that team from your city. Then you can also see the players from that other city. Then you can follow that player again to watch him from another city. So this is, so don't neglect where you are. Start from there. So that's why invest in your visibility. Moves, do it. Speak to coaches, because the coach of a team in your city, for example, knows other coaches from other cities, and he must have been playing with other top players. So you can meet a coach that you're close to in a city and ask that, who have you really played against that you see has given you trouble against your team? That's a good question. And then say, because I'm an agent, I would like to scout that player. And the coach, because most coaches, they take note of all this kind of thing. You say, okay, the winger of this team, the right back of this team. This is because you're speaking. But if you stay home, you're never going to get any of those information, because remember, in this business, your connection is your value. Remember, that's how it's very in this business. Remember that. Yes, hello guys. Hello to someone has been writing me. Yes, but I'll come back to you. But right now, let me try to go through the topic I'm speaking about, because it's very important to the guys here, especially most of the guys who passed the exam. So they need to hear this out. So as I said, your connection is your value. What I would say, what I usually pay attention to myself is, I'll give an example. I don't always like to, let me say, if you, the first thing I like to do is, let me try to get contact with like sporting directors. Let's give an example. If I can have, let me say, 4 or 5 sporting directors in contact with me, that's huge. Let's say, for example, if I'm visiting a club in Norway and I'm having a sporting director connected to me. If I'm visiting a club in Sweden, I have a sporting director connected to me. If I'm visiting a club in Denmark, I have a sporting director. These 3 sporting directors, if you have just 3, if you have their contacts, it's a big deal already. You can do a lot of business with that. You need to start just one, not even many. But if you're having just these 3, it's a big deal. So remember that your contact is your value. So let's take, for example, there's a club that I went to, let me say, 2 hours away from my place, from where I live in Finland. I have the contact of the sporting director. So let's take, for example, a striker, a very good striker comes up into the market. A very good striker comes up into the market. Once a striker comes up, because I have that contact, the contact of that sporting director, with the networking skills I have, I can go now speak to the sporting director and say, hey, I write his name and I say, I have a striker on the market and you have been telling me you need a striker. Just take a look at this. If you feel you are interested in, get in touch with me. If not, I'll let the striker go somewhere. Yeah. But this is just because I have a contact with the sporting director and because I've seen him face to face. So you also, that you are a new agent, or so try this by all costs, to visit people face to face. Go out of the house and try to do 1 or 2 things. Speak to people, because this is going to help you. When you're becoming an agent is not a work for people who sit and don't walk around. You're never going to get rich with that. But if you decide to walk around, what I mean walk around, like do something, like go watch games, because I think when you are becoming, when you want to become an agent, you have to love to watch games, because if not, it's going to be a difficult job for you. Because I think most people who want to become an agent, or who are an agent, they love to watch football. They love to watch a lot of things. So you're going to actually enjoy that, actually. So this is an advice that I'll give to you guys. Like when I started, also, for me, before getting contacts of, let me say, sporting director, I used to do this. Remember, take a pen and paper. So I will just go around, let me say, trying to speak to football clubs, let me say, in the sense that I'm also doing research. Yes. So let's take, for example, I'll go to a professional football club. I'll go there. I'll do research on their tactics without them giving me anything. Yes, I'll just try to do research on the tactics. And while doing that research, I'll be at one point my second day of research, I can come down and ask the coach that, okay, yesterday you were doing these tactics. Can I please know why you were doing these tactics? And the coach will say, okay, we're playing a game against an opposition who plays with a very quick counter attack. So we are trying to do these tactics to stop the opposition. And I'll say, thanks. I've learned this because I saw you yesterday doing the same thing. I mean, this so good to know. And the next week, I'm coming. Again, get this. The next week when I'm coming, I'm still watching the coach. And I go to ask him a question. This question is not only that I'm asking, but it's also building the coach mentality. It's also the coach also is getting interested. This guy is actually getting deep knowledge on this. So here now comes the point. Let's take, for example, now my research is done, and after 3 weeks, I send a striker to that team, writing the coach and that, hey, coach, it was nice learning about your tactics, but just to get some few notes about this. This is what you said you were doing when you are trying to defend against this opposition. Okay, but I saw also the game, but take a look at this striker because I saw what your striker was doing. I think he has a similar profile to this. Just take a look at this. If you're interested in this striker, I can come over and then we speak because I am actually managing the striker and he's looking for a club. So there is no way that coach is not going to open that message. And if that's a good striker, he's going to ring you back. Do you know why? Because one, he knows that you know the system, what he's trying to do, because you have been actually at the training ground, you have watched these things. So this is what we say in networking. We say provide value. When you provide value, then you get the reward. So because I have invested into that, the coach is going to open that and then look at this. If someone just calls the coach and say, hey, I have a striker who scored 3 goals in a match, that's the striker, check the striker's profile, would you think the coach is going to open the email? The coach is definitely going to open my email because he knows that actually I've done a lot of things, I've done a lot of research on it. Okay, so this is one of the things that I would say you guys try to invest your time into doing a lot of things and network. Invest your time because it's going to pay. So that's one thing that I would say, invest your time, and which is a big thing. Remember that in football, face-to-face networking is better than sitting on the laptop doing a lot of contact calling. Okay, so that's one of the things. If you can do that and you come back here, I'm going to get back to you and I'm going to also advise you on that. Yeah, that is that trick. That's one thing that I always use a lot, and it builds my let me say my networking skills with or my contact with a lot of clubs. So if you use that with 2 or 3 clubs, you're going to have numbers of sporting directors a lot or coaches. So those are the things that you have to use in your advantage because you know what to do to be able to network. Okay, when you go and try this, and then if you come back here, write a message to me and then give me feedback on this. So we will end here so that I won't take much of your time, but give me feedback on this because I know this is going to be absolute huge, huge for you. Okay. And okay, now let me speak about the question. Goloboha, bro, please select me. What do you mean select me? What is eligibility? Thanks, man. Bro, if I'm broke, what is eligibility? The questions you're asking here, I don't know. Your questions need to be a little bit more specific on what is eligibility. Yeah. But yeah, I was just talking how if you're an agent, if you have an agent, you have passed the exam and you are trying to get contact with sporting directors because I know those are difficult things. So, but anyways, it was nice also talking with you guys. I hope, not hope, I will try to come back here tomorrow so that we have more conversation about this and it will help so that we keep building this. Okay, take care and talk to you tomorrow. Cheers.